The Allstate Sugar Bowl Greater New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame will grow July 30th in Caesars Superdome. And one of the other members of that extraordinary class that are going in joins us now. And, of course, he thrilled us. I was blessed to do some Tulane games for television in those days. And it was, as I said, a blessing because Tommy Bowden came in and resurrected a program, went 7-4 in the following year, of course, 12-0, ranked 7th in the nation. And just amazing to watch that offense and to see the Liberty Bowl victory over BYU. The architect of that offense, one of the Hall of Fame honorees of this year, he is, of course, Shaun King. And, Shaun, first of all, welcome and congratulations on a well-deserved honor.
Well, thank you very much. Definitely humbled, by this nomination, and I'm excited to get back to New Orleans. Such a great period in my life, such great memories. Such great friendships, that were formed. And, hey, man, just a great group of guys that were selfless, that sacrificed, and we ultimately, reached the pinnacle of success, which is going undefeated. So amazing time. And to be the first time that my family, I'm now married with 4 kids, has been, my kids have been to Tulane. So they're fired up about that.
What changed, Shaun, from the time, you played in your sophomore season to the time that Coach Bowden took over? What was the biggest change that took place to turn this program around?
Well, honestly, it was Rich Rodriguez. When you look at college football now and you think about what it was in 95, like when we had the players, but, just the game itself was played in a completely different manner. Like, I'll never forget, we were 2 tight ends. The offense was featured around a great player in Gerald Soule, but it was a run first, play defense, be conservative type of system. And then, Tommy Bowden entrusted an unknown guy from Glenville State in West Virginia. And Rich came in and, we had a bunch of really, really good skill players, and he kind of, gave us the ball in space and let us be creative and be playmakers, and allowed me to kind of orchestrate it, and, it worked. And once you start having success, then you really get full buy-in. So I think that's what you saw happen, during that time at Tulane. A new system, kind of new to college football, with the right personnel and with full buy-in. And we didn't have a ceiling. It just kind of, we were going to determine, how good we were, and we ultimately ended up being pretty darn good.
Well, you bet. I mean, there's so many memories that stick out about that team, but about you, too. I mean, I remember the Southern Miss game where you basically played with one hand. That was pretty courageous, and you won the game, too.
That's what probably, I don't know why they haven't done, a 30 for 30, on that team, a major network. I mean, it really was a fascinating story. The thing a lot of people forget about that year is, in week 2, we played Navy in the Superdome at the time. And in the post-game talk, Coach Bowden was like, there's a hurricane coming. We got buses available for anybody that doesn't have anywhere to go. If you have somewhere to go, then just get there and we'll be in touch, when everything clears. It was the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah.
I remember going to Baton Rouge. I didn't even know I had broke my wrist.
Yeah.
I kind of just called Coach and was like, my wrist is feeling kind of funny. But Dr. Brunet at the time and everybody was displaced because of the hurricane. I didn't even really get diagnosed with a broken wrist, I don't think, till Monday or even Tuesday morning after a Saturday game, because that's the first time we could get back in town.
Mm-hmm. Remarkable. I remember so many, like I said, so many memories, but just picking out a couple. Thanksgiving night game with Louisiana Tech. They could really score. You guys could really score. You hung a huge number on them. Finished off that unbeaten regular season before almost 30,000 people. That was a special one too. But I think it showed people just how good you guys were.
Yeah, and that was for the mothers and fathers. That was parents' night. That was senior day. That was the last home game. For that group of seniors, myself included. So, Louisiana Tech came in. I think they had played a really, really competitive game with Nebraska, maybe even beaten Nebraska. So they came in with a little extra swag. So we wanted to make sure that Tim Rattay and crew, understood who the champ in Louisiana, in the state of Louisiana, was that year.
No doubt. And then, of course, the Liberty Bowl game to cap it all off, to finish unbeaten. That was kind of the cherry on top of the whipped cream. And you guys finished ranked 7th. You never really got the opportunity. The naysayers say, well, they didn't play a tough enough schedule. They didn't deserve it. But in this day and age, that would have been a great team to have an opportunity to be part of what we now know as the college football playoff.
Well, Ken, it's so ironic how life kind of just, works out. I have a TV show here. I live in Las Vegas now, and I had Philip Fulmer on my television show. He was in town for the College Football Hall of Fame, and I actually went over what game plan we would have used to beat Tennessee that year. He found it pretty amazing. I will say this. The best game we played that entire year was BYU. I think that game showed how great a group of guys existed on that team, because Tommy Bowden had already left to go to Clemson. Chris Selfo, no one really, knew Chris. We knew Frank, his brother, but, and now when you look at it, guys opting out of bowl games, guys, deciding to forego, finishing, what they started in college. Just the fact that group stayed together. And BYU was ranked 5th in the country on defense. They had Rob Morris, they had John Tate, they had future NFL players. And the guys stayed focused. We had a great time in Memphis, but they stayed focused. And, when you look back at it from a legacy standpoint, 12-0 looks so much better than 11-1. So just so proud of what those guys, did between the time Coach Bowden, left for Clemson and the time we played that day versus BYU.
So if you give me the choice, Shaun King, T. Martin, I'm taking Shaun King.
Yeah, man, T. Martin's a good friend of mine, so it would have been a heck of a game. I think we beat a whole lot of people. We were ahead of our time with what we were running, and we had really good players. And, Coach Bowden, Rich Rodriguez, Rick Smith on defense, they had done a great job of, putting us in positions to be great. And I think we'd have beat Tennessee. I told them we were going to double move Dwayne Goodrich. We were going to make Al Wilson, cover Tony Converse down the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. And I told him, hey, we were going to put some pressure on them. We were going to do, because they came, the SEC at the time was, 12, tight end, fullback, I formation,
Yep.
The team they struggled with, when Peyton was there, was Florida, who ran a 4-wide,
right,
kind of system. So, I would have loved to see it happen, hopefully with all the realignment happening in college football. When it's all said and done, we'll get to the point where, maybe the school that doesn't have the $1 billion budget, when they get a special group like we had in 98, they'll get a chance, to show the world how good they really are.
Well, a brilliant career at Tulane, a very fine career in the NFL as well. And you mentioned you're living in Las Vegas right now, and we've seen you on television. Tell people about what you're doing now, Shaun.
Well, I host a show called The Nightcap on the VSiN network, VSIN. You can download that app. You can listen for free. There's a small fee that you pay per month to view it. But if you have YouTube TV, we're aired on YouTube TV. We're aired on Fubo. And we're on a lot of radio stations as well across the country. So, we keep it entertaining. We try and make you a few dollars. It keeps me close to the game. So I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to getting back to New Orleans, man. Excited to see Coach Fritz and show my family, what that 98 team built.
And we're looking forward to having you here, too. Allstate Sugar Bowl, Great New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame inductee will be Shaun King on July 30th at Caesars Superdome. And Shaun, listen, again, congratulations. Couldn't be happier for it. It was such a blessing and a privilege to watch you play and do some games. And it's going to be great reminiscing and seeing you back at your other home, because New Orleans is your other home, and everybody's looking forward to having you here, buddy.
All right, Ken, thanks. And one request before I go.
Yes.
If you can find anybody that has actual games from 95 to 98 at Tulane, I can't find games anywhere.
Okay. I will absolutely.
The only person I know that has them is Rich but he says they're in like a storage unit from like one of his moves from Michigan to Arizona, and he has no idea where they're at.
Oh, boy. Well, I will get to work on that. I promise you that we'll at least try. So stay tuned, buddy. Thanks again, Shaun.
Thank you, man.